Chapter 24. Confessions. I was so happy to be back home I could have cried. Kishan carried our bags inside and quickly disappeared. Mr. Kadam also excused himself to check with some of his contacts. Left alone, I decided to take a long, hot shower and do some laundry. Dressed in pajamas and slippers, I padded into the laundry room and threw in a load. I wasn't sure what to do with the fairy clothes. I decided to hang them on the veranda overnight, just to see if there were any fairies in the real world. Then I walked through the house to find out what everyone else was doing. Mr. Kadam was in the library on the phone. I heard only half of the conversation. He glanced at me and pulled out a chair so I could sit beside him.
Yes, of course. Contact me as soon as possible. That is correct. Send in as many as necessary. We'll be in touch.
He hung up the phone and turned to me. Playing with my wet hair, I asked, "Who was that?"
A man of my employ who has many remarkable talents, one of which is infiltrating large organizations.
What's he going to do for us?
He will begin investigating who works in the penthouse office in the tallest building of Mumbai.
You aren't planning on going there yourself, are you? Lokesh would capture you too.
No. Lokesh gave away more about himself than he learned of us. Did you notice his suit?
His suit? It looked like a regular suit to me.
It isn't. His suits are custom-made in India. Only 2 businesses in the entire country specialize in expensive suits such as that one. I've sent my men to hunt down an address.
I shook my head and grinned. Mr. Kadam, did anyone ever tell you that you are extremely observant? He smiled.
Perhaps once or twice.
Well, I'm very glad that you're on our side. I'm impressed. I didn't even think to look at his clothes. What about the servant?
I have a few ideas about where he might come from, based on the beads, the hair, and the tattoo. I should be able to narrow it down by tomorrow. Why don't you have a snack and head to bed?
I took a long nap in the car. But a snack sounds good. Will you join me?
I believe I might.
I stood quickly. Oh, I almost forgot. I brought something for you. I found my backpack at the foot of the stairs, and also retrieved a couple of glasses and 2 small plates from the kitchen. I set out the plate and glass in front of Mr. Kadam and unzipped the backpack. I don't know if the pastry is still edible, but the nectar should be. He leaned forward, curious. Opening the Sylvain's delicious packages, I placed several dainty delicacies on his plate. Sadly, the small pack of sugar-dusted lace cookies had become a pack of crumbs. But the other items still looked as fresh and delectable as they had been in Shangri-La. Mr. Kadam appraised the tiny appetizers from several angles, marveling at the artistry involved. Then he carefully tasted a mushroom galette and a tiny raspberry tart as I explained that the Sylvaini were vegetarians who loved sugary things. I popped the stopper of a tall gourd and poured sweet, golden nectar into his cup. Kishan walked in and pulled up a chair next to me.
Hey, why wasn't I invited to the Sylvaini tea party?
He teased. I slid my plate to Kishan and went to get another glass. We laughed and enjoyed a peaceful respite as we savored pumpkin rolls with walnut butter and mini apple, cheese, and onion stuffed pies. We drained every drop of the nectar and were thrilled to see that the golden fruit could produce more. The only thing that could have made this moment better would have been to share it with Ren. I promised myself that I would write down each delicious food we'd eaten in Shangri-La so I could taste them all again with Ren by using the golden fruit after he was rescued. We stayed awake until late that night. Kishan changed into a tiger and slept at my feet as Mr. Kadam and I read books on the rural tribes of India. At about 3 a.m., I turned a page in the 5th book I'd picked up and found a picture of a woman with tattooing across her forehead. Mr. Kadam, come look at this. He sat on the leather chair next to me. I handed him the book so he could study the woman.
Yes. This is one of the groups I thought of. They're called the Baiga.
What do you know about them? Where are they?
They are a mostly nomadic indigenous tribe who avoid association outside of their communities. They hunt and gather food, preferring not to till the ground. They believe farming harms Mother Earth. There are 2 groups of them that I know of, one in Madhya Pradesh in central India and one in Jharkhand, which is in eastern India. I believe I have a book that has more details of their culture.
He scanned through several shelves until he found the right text. He sat next to me and opened the book.
It's about the Adivasis. There should be more about the Baiga in here.
I leaned down to scratch Kishan's ear. What are the Adivasis?
It's a term that classifies all of the native tribes together, but it doesn't differentiate among them. Several cultures fall under the heading Adivasis. Here, we have the Irulas, Oreon, Santals, and...
He flipped another page.
The Baiga.
He found the section he was looking for and ran his finger down the page as he read important parts in a verbal shorthand.
They practice biwa cultivation, slash-and-burn agriculture, famous for tattooing, depend on jungle for sustenance, employ ancient medicines and magic, bamboo handicrafts. Aha! Here is exactly what we are looking for, Miss Kelsey. Baiga men grow their hair long and wear it in a jura or bun. The man holding Ren fits that description. Though the confusing thing is, a Baiga leaving his tribe to serve someone like Lokesh would almost never happen.
Even if he paid the man well?
It wouldn't matter. Their lifestyle is centered around their tribe. There would be no reason for him to leave his people. It's not within their cultural norm. They are a simple, straightforward people. A person of the Baiga would be unlikely to join the ranks of Lokesh. Still, this warrants investigation. I will begin my study of the Baiga tribes tomorrow. For now, it's time to rest, Miss Kelsey. I insist. It's very late, and we both need fresh minds.
I nodded and replaced the books I'd taken from his library shelves. He squeezed my shoulder.
Don't fret. All things will work out in the end. I feel it. We've made great progress. Khalil Gibran said, "The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain." I know that you've had many great sorrows, but I also feel that your life will hold many great joys, Miss Kelsey.
I smiled. Thank you. I hugged him and whispered against his shirt. I don't know what I'd do without you. You get some sleep too. We said good night, and Mr. Kadam disappeared into his room while I climbed the stairs. Kishan padded along behind me and followed me into my room. He stood at the glass door to the veranda, waiting for me to let him out. When I slid open the door, I knelt beside him and patted him on his back. Thanks for keeping me company. He hopped up on the swinging love seat and promptly fell asleep. I climbed into bed and hugged my stuffed white tiger tightly, hoping to fill the empty space inside my chest with thoughts of Ren. I woke around 11 a.m. Mr. Kadam was on the phone and hung up as soon as I sat across from him.
I think we've had a lucky break, Miss Kelsey. In my investigation of the Baiga, I found nothing out of the ordinary regarding the tribe located in Madhya Pradesh. The tribe in eastern India, however, seems to be missing.
What do you mean missing?
There are usually small villages near the Baiga tribes who deal with them from time to time. Such meetings are often due to controversies or deforestation or other various disputes. This tribe appears to have relocated recently and hasn't been found. They are nomadic and do move around, but this is the longest they have gone without contacting the locals. The Baiga are limited by law now and cannot move about as freely as they did in the past. I will do some more research today. I also have some connections that can take satellite photos of the area and find the tribe at its current location. If it warrants more attention, I will inform you and Kishon. You two have had quite an ordeal the last few weeks, so I want you to rest today. There is nothing you can do until I have more data. Go for a swim, watch a movie, or go out to eat. You too deserve a break.
Are you sure there's nothing I can do? I can't really relax when I know Ren is suffering.
Your worrying about him won't make him suffer less. He would want you to rest too. We will find him soon, Miss Kelsey. Don't forget that I have led soldiers into battle many times over, and if there is one thing I've learned, it's that all war-hardened troops need R&R, including you. Making time to relax is very important to the mental well-being of all soldiers. Be off with you. I don't want to see you or Kishon until this evening.
I smiled at him and saluted. Yes, General, I will convey your instructions to Kishon. He saluted me back.
See to it.
I laughed and went in search of Kishon. I found him in the dojo working on martial arts and sat on the bottom step to watch him for a few moments. He did a complicated set of aerial leaps and twists that would have been impossible if he didn't have tiger strength. Then he landed 2 feet away and faced me with a playful grin. I laughed. You know, if you and Ren entered the Olympics, you could both win several gold medals. Gymnastics, track and field, wrestling, you name it. You'd both get millions of dollars in endorsements.